I'm done. What's up, suckers? Yes, I'm quitting Shadowlands. And not for the reasons you might think. I'm not quitting because I'm bitter and angry about their moves against multi-boxing. I'm not quitting because I'm bitter and angry about their moves against farmers. I'm not quitting because the dungeons are bad, or the world design is limited, or the quest design is bad, or I don't like doing dailies. I'm not quitting for any of those things. I'm certainly not quitting because they changed the rules on multi-boxing and forced me to multi-box in a different way. I actually really enjoy the new way I multi-box. I'm quitting for a particular reason, and that is all of my progress has ceased 2 months in. You see, I've spent all my anima over the last month and a week upgrading my gear, which is great. I loved the fact that you could upgrade your gear to 197. It was a real breath of fresh air that we could get gear that way. Meanwhile, none of my Sanctum buildings are even close to being upgradable. I mean, look at my guys. You need 5,000 anima for your first level 2 building. And look how many level 2 buildings I need. That's 20,000 anima to get to level 2 after 2 months of the game. 2 months playing, and I just want level 2 buildings. I just want to be porting around in the teleport network. Is that too much to ask? Now, who is not going to get their gear first? Who is going to build their anima buildings before they upgrade their gear? Nobody. You'd be an idiot to do that, because this game is all about gear. But you know what? Once you have your gear and you're looking up at this giant mountain of progression, who the hell is going to get, how long is it going to take me to get 5,000 plus 10,000 plus 12,000 plus 15,000? What is that? 42,000 anima? I've got 3,000. And that's weeks after I finished my gear. Weeks. I've been working on my honor gear for a week and a half. So they botched the anima so badly. The anima's coming out way too slow. Or these prices for upgrades are just ludicrously high. But yeah, I want to be portaling around. I want to be portaling around in my portal network. Okay? I want to be going from land to land. By the time I'm able to go from one continent to every other continent, I'm going to be bored with this game. Bored. It's going to take so long. And if you look at the requirements on things like your anima conductor, buying the memory that you get through the memory book, you can buy these books, all right, that give you memories that you don't already have or can't get or whatever. But you would have to run your anima conductor nonstop and do quests every day for your anima conductor for 2 months. At least. That's probably an underestimation. No, that's way an underestimation. So the progression, the anima progression, is completely out of whack. It's absurd. Absurd. Now, I've been denying it to myself for most of this 11 weeks. And, you know, thinking, well, okay, it's going to speed up. It's going to speed up. It ain't speeding up. It is not speeding up. And I'm not going to just run around and do dailies for 6 months, waiting for anima to pile up so I can buy this stuff. Now, couple that with the fourth building syndrome. The fourth building syndrome is a real disappointment. And I can only really speak of the Ember Court, Queen's Conservatory, and the Abomination Factory. The Abomination Factory is the closest thing to fun that you get. But they totally screwed that up too. You can't take your abominations into dungeons. You can't take your abominations into Torghast. You can't take them into raids. What's the point? Why am I working on those? And the riding abomination, at first that seemed good. Flytrap seemed amazing. You can't interact with anybody while you're on Flytrap. So when you ride up to a target, like a Flightmaster, you have to click an extra button to get off Flytrap. It's so alien to the way we do business that I forget to do it every single time. And I don't want to click an extra button. I want interact with target or right-clicking on the target to get me off Flytrap, but that does not work. What a tiny little thing that ruins the complete product. This tiny little thing made me never ride Flytrap again. I gave it a couple of days. Never got used to it. Hated it. Stopped. Put it in my bag. Never brought it out again. It's such a small thing and such an easy thing for them to fix. But it makes the entire Abomination Factory kind of go away from me. Why would I decorate my Flytrap with all kinds of upgrades when I'm never going to take them out? I would never ride Flytrap even down to the Flightmaster. So the game is dying a death of 1,000 little cuts for me. Think about the tables, all right? The adventure tables. I was kind of getting into them, but then I'm running 3 covenants and my wife's running a 4th. And I'm realizing only 2 of the covenants were winning anything. The other 2 always lost. Hers, the Kyrian's, oh my God. She could out-level the quests by 3 or 4 levels and still fail every single time. And come to find out this week, they're fixing things. They're rebalancing. Fine. But did you see the rebalancing? 48% to 400% changes in abilities and factors. Look at the rebalancing list. It's absurd. It is like they never even tested it. And they just put that product out there and they waited and they waited and they waited for 11 weeks of people on the tables. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, 11 weeks is a long time on a game. I know that people on WoW think about the game in more of a grand scale, a grand time factor, but no more for me. No more. You need to entertain me. You, the game company, need to keep me entertained. I'm paying you money and a lot of it. And if you want me to stand around and do dailies for 4 more weeks before gaining any kind of progression on my guys, any kind of reasonable progression, the next level of these buildings is going to be crap, by the way. Level 2, almost no progression there. Almost nothing unlocked. Don't get me started on the Queen's Conservatory. All right. 9 weeks, still getting bags with 3 fish in them. Still getting a reward that you can get standing at a pond for 5 minutes. And those seeds take 3 days to hatch. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, the game was entertaining right up until I started running up against these fatal flaws. Once I got all my gear, I was doing all my dungeons, doing all my Torghast, getting my epic items. By the way, that's a really good system. Totally paced well. Super good pace. The soul ash, that's paced well. Okay. You can get several epics within 2 months. Great. Epics, legendaries. So they did that right. Okay. Torghast is fun. They did that right. Twisting Corridors was fun. They might want to add more reasons to keep running it after you get through layer 8 of Twisting Corridors. There's absolutely no reason to ever run it again. So that's a point against continuing Shadowlands. So basically they let this whole anima thing go. They tried to supplement with a couple of weekly quests that gave a lot of anima, like 750, and one gave 1250. Not enough. Not even close to enough. Not even close to enough. And you'll get these quests where you got to get 1,000 anima, and you can do that in a day if you do every world quest. Okay, you can do it in almost a day. Maybe not a day if you get unlucky. You can do it in 2 days, but over the course of a week, you would expect to do it. You expect to get 1,000 anima over the course of a week. Maybe, all right, if you really tried and you didn't miss any dailies. And I haven't been missing many dailies. So, yeah, it killed it for me. My progression is done. All right, so the other thing about progression is the ability to do dungeons, complete content. And I understand, I'm a multi-boxer. Dungeons are a lot harder for me. They're doubly hard because I'm round robin multi-boxing, which means I only click one key. Each key goes to a different window, all right, in a round robin fashion. This makes it very difficult to do some dungeons as a multi-boxer. The dungeons are difficult. A lot of the dungeon content has mechanisms in it that make it supremely hard for me to get through. I mean, I just spent several days doing at least 100 pulls of Miss Collar, and I never got her down with 197 gear. Now, if I had got her down in Mythic 0, I would be getting 184 gear. So I need to completely outgear the dungeon even to have a chance. And by the way, that's been true from when I hit level 60. There was no way I could do any of the dungeon bosses at level 60 when I first dinged. And I had okay gear, all right? I had okay gear, like 139, okay? Everybody's running dungeons at 139. They were just way too tough to multi-box for me. And, you know, a lot of people were saying that the dungeons were too freaking overtuned anyway. They're finally addressing some of the overtuning in Mythic, but they're overtuned in normal. I found Heroic to be easier than normal. When I finally did my first Heroic, I was like, damn, this is actually easier than normal. Normal is too damn hard. Way overtuned. And I know that they're trying to give people a challenge, so I will let that one slide. That's probably on me. That's probably my problem, mostly. But with the exception that if I roll in, there's no multi-boxing issue with rolling in and trying to fight mobs, all right? If I roll in and I can wipe on the first 4 trash mobs easily wipe on the first 4 trash mobs, if my gear is not like tits high, out leveling the dungeon by 10 or 20, that's dumb. Why? Nobody comes to fight trash. Nobody comes to fight trash. The trash is too hard. It's ludicrously hard in some cases. The trash has raid mechanisms. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of trash, but I really come for the bosses. Everybody does. Now, they use the trash in Shadowlands to teach you the boss mechanisms as you approach the boss. No thanks. How about I learn the boss mechanism on the boss? Because they do that, it makes the trash approaching the boss a little sub-raid fight. A little, yeah, we got to figure out what's going on. We got to move around, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a pain in the ass. It makes me not want to go in dungeons. Let's put it that way. The trash is so hard to get through to get to the first boss. And by hard, I mean, it takes so long to kill each pack. Okay, you're not just blowing through the packs. It's just like, okay, we got to focus on this pack, do everything right, move on to the next pack. Focus on that pack, do everything right, move on to the next pack. Oh my gosh, it's like a little raid boss each pack. I'm not saying I can't do it, but that gets old fast, like super fast. What we really want is we want to have a hard time at first with low gear, and then we want to just gallop around, gather up everything, and then AoE them down when we get good gear. That ain't happening. You will wipe. You will wipe. You try to do that. And so that's been a bit of a frustration with dungeons for me. It's why I don't do them very often. I just don't want to deal with the trash over it. Think about Necrotic Wake. All right. Think about the pools on Necrotic Wake. They're a pain in the ass. They really are. Yes, you can burn them down. Yes, you can AoE them down. And I've shown I can do that in my videos. Okay. But half the time, you know, I overpull, let something get away, and people die. And that slows everything down. Okay. So I think the dungeons are overtuned. I mean, flat out, I will tell you, the dungeons are overtuned. People like me, we need to feel that the power of our gear. And I'm not really feeling the power of 197 gear when I go into dungeons. I can wipe on heroics still. And, you know, it kind of feels stupid to wipe on heroics. So, I mean, that's been a problem for me. That's been a continuing problem. Think about going into Stitch Flesh. All right, who thought that up? I don't care who you are. All those pulls that happen when you're going into Stitch Flesh in Necrotic Wake, that's ridiculous. What is that? 7 pulls in sequence, and then he adds more to it after you do the 7? Who's thinking these things through? It makes no sense. And so I ain't quitting because of multi-boxing. I ain't quitting because you know, the quests are bad, or the game design, the world design is boring. I think there's so much about Shadowlands to love. I really do. But I'm quitting because of pace. Pace is all wrong. It is all wrong. It is broke AF. And I'm not playing their game. Look at all my ones. Look at all my little 1 buildings. I'm not playing this game. Dude, I need fast progression. I do not want to feel like progression is a month away. Do not tell me progression is a month away. You can tell me progression is a week away, but don't tell me progression is a month away. And that's how I feel. And I don't like it. And I'm paying the bills. So if I don't like it, I'm GTFO. And Blizz, if you're listening to this, the way you do treat your people, the way you treat farmers, and the way you treat multi-boxers, it's despicable. It's absolutely despicable. I'm not leaving because of that, but I do want to make that plain. I think it is despicable, the way you treat people. And gamers deserve rights. They deserve rights of transparency, and they deserve rights to dispute their case. And I'm perfectly happy to stop giving you money just because of that. But that's not even the reason I'm quitting Shadowlands. So I don't know. I'm starting a new job in 2 weeks, and I'm sure I'm going to be focused on that. Meanwhile, I hope all of you are having a good time. I hope all of you are progressing in ways that you like. I am not. And I will no longer be a sucker. So I'll go play a different game, maybe a different expansion, maybe go back to Wrath of the Lich King. I don't know. But it won't be this game. So long, and thank you for watching, man. See you later, suckers.